Hello!
Hi.
We are at Livres de Lindsay and at Bexy_read, and we're here to talk about our reread of Heir of Fire! AKA, I think, my favorite in the series.
It's not my favorite, but it's definitely close to my favorite because we meet our mans.
Daddy's home.
Daddy is so home. Sorry for the background noise. I have my window open because it's nice out. Finally.
This book is like the expander, I always say. Whenever I talk about Throne of Glass, I feel like it's like Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight are kind of like their own thing, and then this is where the world expands in a good way.
Yes, I agree. But where we leave off in Queen of Shadows, I always get those mixed up.
Crown of Midnight?
Yep.
It's okay.
Crown of Midnight is, I don't even remember where we left off, but, we didn't read Crown of Midnight.
We read Assassin's Blade after Crown of Midnight, and you know what? I'm very happy that we did that right before Heir of Fire, because I feel like so many things pop up that we've learned about in Assassin's Blade, and I'm kind of like, well, damn, I wish I did that my first read along.
Yeah, I agree. I read Assassin's Blade as we previously discussed last.
Same.
In when I read it the first time. So we are, I don't even remember where in essentially Crown of Midnight we left off, but I know we found out that Selena was Aelin, and basically Chaol sent her to Doranel for her safety, but under the guise that she was going to be, I think, killing.
She was supposed to kill the Ashreivers, who are still a ruling family in Wendland.
Yes.
But then obviously Chaol discovers, oh wait, that's actually her family, because her mother is an Ashriver. I say Ashriver, but I think it's Ashriver.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh my god, I just sent her to her closest allies, actually.
Yeah. Which is wild. And then, of course, Dorian is all like, wah.
Wah. Dorian's lonely.
Oh, he's so lonely. My poor sweet boy.
Dorian's lonely because he's questioning why Chaol would have sent, as we only know her now as Selena. Well, we know, but Dorian does not know until later.
Yeah.
And he's kind of by himself, and Chaol is kind of running around trying to figure out, I think, like, what his role is going to be, because at this point he's still loyal to
The crown.
Ireland.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But after discovering who Selena really is, he's starting to question a lot about himself. And that's when we meet Aedion Ashriver, who is Aelin's cousin, but he currently is in Heir of Fire. He is working for the King of Ireland. So we think.
A general in the army. Yeah, it turns out that he is working against the king, but in secret, obviously. And he's still working for, like, in a sense, his loyalty, like his loyal to his crown, to Aelin, you know.
Yeah. And he still has hope that she's still out there, and Chaol is like, well, let me tell you something.
I know a secret. So Aedion ends up getting called back to the castle. His, what are they called? Like
the Bane.
The Bane. Thank you. I wanted to say the Horde. They
the
get
wolves.
called all of them.
The Wolves of the North.
No, that's Game of Thrones.
Well, that's why I feel like it's very Game of Thrones-esque.
Yeah, I get that. So they end up getting called back to, like, the castle. Well, he comes back and he's like, oh, my Bane is on the way. But surprise, no, they're not.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise. And then we also get introduced to the badass witch, Manon. Are you a Manon person?
I read her as Manon, but so for this book, I've partially listened to and partially read the physical book. So before, in my first read, I read it as Manon, but now that I've been listening to it, I'm like, okay, Manon kind of makes sense. So I'll call her Manon.
Yeah, so we meet Manon and then her the 13, the witch clan, the black she is the heir to the Blackbeak witch clan. There are 3 witch clans. Technically I think there's 4. There's the Blackbeaks, the Yellowlegs, the
the Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
And those are the Iron Teeth
that's
witches.
What it is.
And then there's the Crokins, who are a different kind of witch.
Yes.
They're more like benevolent, and the Iron Teeth basically hunt them down.
I thought you said hump them down. Oh, awkward.
I don't know. Enemies to lovers.
So throughout this book, you learn more about the witches and their like background a little bit. You don't dive too deep into it, but you meet Manon and her 13. You meet her second, her third. I did like write them all down, so you do end up meeting all 13 of them throughout the series of the book. But for the most part, she really only talks about her second, which is Asterin, and then she'll kind of throw one or a couple of them here and there. Yep, Sorrel. Yeah. But then like there's Vesta that she'll talk about. Like it'll be like mostly about Asterin, but then she'll be like, and then Sorrel, blah, blah, Asterin, and then Vesta.
It kind of, as it goes on, she starts talking about them more because she kind of starts to break down the system a little bit and becomes, I think, a little bit closer with them.
I agree.
But we follow her. We start with her. She's super badass. But like we literally start with her like literally like murdering like a bunch of men.
God, ripping the guy's like throat out.
Yeah, and then licking the blood off her nails. And from reading Assassin's Blade right before this, from hearing Ansel's like her point of view when she met an Iron Teeth witch, it's like holy shit, like these bitches are scary. And I think that the whole plot of Manon in this book is kind of like, she's kind of like aside from the rest of the plot, but you meet her because she's going to be like, have a bigger role later, which you can see, but it's really like, so the Duke of Parrington, remember him, is, creating an army of witches and wants them to ride on the backs of wyverns.
So almost in a similarity to Fourth Wing.
It's the plot of How to Train Your Dragon.
But they basically it is the plot of how to, that's so funny. But like she wants the biggest, the baddest, the most dangerous wyvern, but it turns out that he stays and gets his ass beat by one of the bait beasts, and it was like, oh, actually this little tiny like thing that's missing parts of its tail, it's missing a tooth, it's got a it's bitten here, blah, blah blah, this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, oh, I want him.
She
and
goes, you're coming home with
me. You're coming to mama. And then it was like the grandmother, because she's the like matriarch, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the grandmother is, she's like the lead matriarch of the Iron Teeth.
Yeah, so she is like so upset that Manon like picked like a little bitch ass wyvern, and she's like, no, you'll see. And so like throughout the book, it doesn't like switch chapters every chapter, but every couple of chapters it'll go to here, and it's all around. So you're getting multiple POVs, you're getting Manons, Adians, Chaos, Dorian, Aelin, and then Aelin still isn't giving up.
She's Selena at this point.
She's not giving up her Selena identity, and she refuses to accept the fact that she's almost like refuses to accept the fact that she's Aelin. I think she's terrified of what comes with the name.
Yeah.
And in searching, so I'm gonna shift back to Manon for a second though. Like throughout the chapters with Manon, you see her grow and create this relationship with I want to say Toothless now.
Abraxas.
Toothless, that's not his name, but Abraxos, and you find she goes to see the Stygian witches, the Stygian spiders to get spider silk to fix his tail. She has the people make him iron teeth and iron spikes for his tail. So like or his wings, sorry, they get the spider silk to fix his wings. But it's like you see her create this relationship with this little baby beast, and she's like, you're gonna be the badass that I know that you can be, but he's just a sweet little angel baby. And
he just wants to layer and smell the flowers.
He really does, and just watches like look up at the stars. But it's just like you see that relationship grow, and then again you kind of see her relationship with her 13 grow. She's still very much like a badass and a hard ass, but like you kind of see where she's like, all right, maybe I gotta act like a badass, but I feel like something's going on.
She's like, okay, but like my wyvern is like, he was supposed to be weak and he's not, so maybe that's making me question everything in my life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where we leave Manon. And then circling back to Selena / Aelin, to me, the best part of this book is her story. I mean, she's the main character after all. But this story is, she's sent to Wendland. She's like, am I going to do the mission that I was given? Probably not. Or like, what am I going to do here? And that's when we meet Rowan, Prince Rowan Whitethorn.
Daddy.
Let me tell you, when I was listening to this part, when Rowan showed up, I almost crashed my car. I was like, ah!
Yeah, not me. I was just like, ee! I was most likely in bed or on my like reclining couch or whatever, like kicking my feet, because he's just. But you know what's funny is that like when you are reading this for the very first time. And like you don't know the significance of Rowan, but like he's such an asshole.
But also the way that they describe him, like when she first meets him, he's basically described as like the hottest person she's ever seen. He is pure warrior, and like anybody is going to tremble in front of him. So like it's kind of terrifying, but it's also pretty but basically she's on her own mission to kind of what's the word, avenge Nehemia, and she wants to find the word keys, and the person who knows the most is Queen Maeve. Rowan is sent to basically collect her and bring her to Maeve, but it turns out Maeve's kind of a bitch.
Kind of.
And the worst part is that Rowan and 4 other Fey warriors, the Cadre, are blood sworn to him. So even though Rowan's an ass, like we're kind of seeing him as an ally, and then we find out that he's sworn to Maeve, who is like a bitch, and it's like, wait a minute, like, is this a good person or a bad person?
Like, but you have to agree with me though. Like when you first obviously meet, like you said, he is described as like almost like very terrifying and whatnot, but like he is an asshole.
He is an asshole.
Like he punches her in the face. I do not condone DV. Let's just make that abundantly clear. But like he punches her in the face. He bites her, which like now reading it, I'm like, but like at the time you're like, what a dick.
Yeah.
So it's just like Lindsay said, you kind of after like a while you know they spend a lot of time together because he is training her and like wants her. The point is that he's trying to get her to shift into her like Fey form, because her form is that she shifts into a human, but he's trying to get her to shift and basically like accept the fact that she is Queen of Terrasen and she needs like stop being a baby and grow up is essentially what he's trying to get
being a coward.
Exactly.
And I have to say the same thing, like I don't condone like domestic violence, but it's also not domestic violence because they're not in any relationship. He is training her, and he's training her as he would like another like warrior, and she kind of like he's trying to make her angry and she's trying to make him angry. So I don't agree that he should have punched her, but it's not like in the context that a lot of people like put it in.
I agree.
A lot of people in there are like, well, Rowan punched her in the face, and it's like, well, they weren't like, they didn't have any sort of like relationship. It's not that he just like punched her in the face out of nowhere.
Yeah, it'd be like if they were sparring and you know like he's like you said he's training her, so like
he shouldn't have done it.
No.
but like it's not in the same context as people think.
Yeah, agreed. And then it's like, you know, you see their relationship, and it's not necessarily like a romantic relationship at this point, where like it grows, where she trusts him, he trusts her. There's like something that he brings her to like into like a cave or a mountain or something like that to go like, okay, so we're gonna have you go like rescue one of the they don't call them half-breeds, but like the
demi-fae.
Thank you. I'm so bad at this because I read Heir of Fire a couple weeks ago, so it's all lost in my brain. But anywho, the demi-fae, so like one that she has had a relationship or like has a friendship with.
Grown to have a working friendship with.
Yes, and so it's like they put him in the middle of like this. He turns a lake into ice, and you have to go rescue him. And it turns out to be like basically a rescue mission because all hell breaks loose, and she finds a sword, she finds a ring, like all this stuff. But it was like she actually had to save his life.
Yeah.
But in order to do so, she had to use her fae senses and all this stuff. So it's like he is helping her, move forward and stop being a coward and embrace who she actually is.
And then I think he also finds like a new respect for her and realizes like she's not who he thought she was. He comes into it thinking that she's a spoiled princess who has run away from her responsibilities for the past 10 years. And then when she finally steps into her magic and where she like overpowers herself. She depletes her energy or something.
She burns out or something.
Yeah, and then so he sees her while she's like healing from that, essentially he sees her back and sees all of the like the whipping marks, and that's when she like finally is like, this is what happened to me, and he's like, oh shit, and then he's like, you're gonna sleep in here with me from now on, and we're gonna start this thing again, basically.
Yeah.
And then they just learn to have an intimacy with each other, but it's like a working relationship. Not romantic, but like it's like we're still gonna be like, I'm your trainer, you're my trainee, but like we have a newfound respect for each other. And she learns about his past as well. And then the rest is basically they're like solving a riddle together.
Yes, and so there are like Valg. I don't know if he's a prince.
I think the general is a Valg prince.
Yep, and basically they like attack Doranel, and so Rowan and Aelin and I think Lorcan, I think all of them come.
The Cadre come to help,
except for one. I don't think
Vaughn come.
I was gonna say one of them doesn't show up, but because I kept track with my notes of who's there, and I'm missing a name. It could also just be
Fenris.
Who's his twin?
Osprey.
No, that's his. That's his.
I don't know. I
form.
forget Fenris's brother's name.
I know. Forgive us. It's been a hot minute. I also forget.
Wait, the Osprey.
That's the bird he like shifts into, you dingus. So yeah, but they show up and they help Aelin and Rowan and the little like town Doranel like fight off the Valg that show up, and that's where she learns a bit more about.
It's Mistward.
Oh, Mistward, sorry.
Yeah, Doranel's like the castle city.
So Mistward, and they show up to help them fight off the Valg, and that's where she learns a lot about I feel like it's the third word key. Or does she learn that from Maeve? She might get that from Maeve.
She learns it from Maeve, but
she learns something.
She learns how basically you can kill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then so she ends up in after that whole thing, and then like we talked about, Rowan sees her scars. They get a lot closer, and then they go to Maeve because she's ready now. And Rowan basically breaks his blood oath to Maeve, and
so Maeve is forced, so he has a relationship now with Aelin, not a romantic one, but like they're close, and Aelin has suspicions about things, but she can't tell him her plans or anything because he's sworn to Maeve, and Maeve makes his friends, the Cadre, like basically whip him until Aelin will admit. And then Aelin pulls out her tricks. It turns out that she has the ring that belonged to Maeve's lover, and is like, I will give you this if you let him go. But my favorite line is that, and she's like, not for all of the world, Aelin, but what about for Prince Rowan?
She knows anything for love. But she would do that.
I too would do anything for Rowan.
So Rowan breaks the blood oath to Maeve and actually takes the blood oath.
Immediately takes the blood up to Aelin. And Aelin's like, no, I don't want you to because you're not going to have free will. And he's like, this is my free will that I want to be with you. And they also found out that they're Karanam, which means that they can share each other's power. Like if she's depleting, he can help her and vice versa. And they can kind of like feel each other for a way, which will mean something else later. But because it doesn't always work, you have to be compatible with the person for it to work. And they just trust each other so much that they know it's going to work. And then we leave off basically where Aelin's got to go back to Rifthold and basically tie up loose ends and then continue their search and basically start the fight to get her throne back. But Rowan stays in Wenland.
Yeah, he stays, I think he actually stays in Mistward, but he could be Wenland.
Wenland's like the whole place.
Everything, like when I'm reading, I can't
It's
picture.
okay. It's
I need like
places.
I need like a what are those things? Like
a map?
Yes, I know it's a map. But like a tapestry of like the map, so that way when I'm reading,
I can tapestry of the places I've been.
Yeah, because it's like you get the map at the You get the map at like the beginning of the books, but like I'm not.
But they also don't show you Wenland. They only show you Aurelia. Do they?
I just saw it. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding.
They show you Aurelia, and then it says to Wenland is across.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, like I'm not looking back to this map every time.
Every single time.
I don't have time for that.
So back in Rifthold, while Chaol is running around with Adian, and it turns out Adian has been helping the rebels, who technically had to do with Nehemia's death, or one of them did, but Aelin obviously took care of the one, but not the whole group.
Yeah.
And they're running around together, like, Chaol's trying to figure out, like, what he's doing. Adian finds out that, like, Aelin's been alive, and I love the scene where, so Selena gives Chaol her apartment essentially, and he takes Adian there, and Adian can see like basically like kind of like who she's grown up to be. Like he touches, like he's like, I can tell that she like likes nice things, and he's like getting to know her. I cry at that scene every time. It gets me. But then during that, Dorian is still kind of alone. And then he finds out that Chaol and Adian have been working together, and then they're like, what are you gonna do?
He suffers from FOMO.
And he's like, oh, so you don't trust me. And Chaol's still kind of afraid of Dorian's magic. And then Dorian's kind of like, okay, my friends don't trust me. And then he like is sad face throughout the castle, but he meets a young healer named Sorsha,
who we met in Throne of Glass.
Yeah, and then he realizes, like, she's helped us all these times and has
you just
kept
don't
her
know.
mouth
She's
shut.
just like a healer that comes to heal them, and then in Heir of Fire, Dorian ends up going to see the healers for something. I don't remember. He like cut his hand or so he going to the healers, and he's like, I know you, and she's like, yeah, I patched you guys up. So basically, like, she basically tells him, like, I know how to keep a secret, and he's like, word.
And he's like, wow, but like this whole time, like you've helped us so many times, and if you've kept your mouth shut, and I didn't even know your name.
And also, I didn't even know how beautiful you were, and now I'm like madly in love with you.
And then they fall madly in love, and then psych!
I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna
at the end of the book.
Hold on. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated Dorian. Like, I didn't hate his chapters because it's him finding out like a lot more about himself, his magic, and all that.
Well, compared to everything else that's going on, it's like nothing, to be honest, nothing's really happening to Dorian right now. Except, well, he's falling in love with the healer. But like most of the excitement is happening in everybody else's chapters.
I just felt like he was doing stuff purposely, like at the beginning, to get like injured so he could, like, he had a reason to be around here. And I'm like, Dorian, please. I was just like, I'm not joking, every time I got to one of his chapters, I was like, oh. Like,
well, every time he's like, my friend. My friend.
Like,
I am a Chaol and Dorian shipper.
I am not. I'm normal.
So they yearn for each other. In this book, it's Dorian yearning for Chaol. In the next book, it's Chaol freaking yearning for Dorian. You can't tell me otherwise.
All right.
So we get to the end of the book.
Well, so we get to the end of the book, and things in Rifthold or Otterlin, like, shit hits the fan. They find out that Adian is working against the king. And also, like, you do, but you don't find out that Kaol is also working against the king. There was, like, he just stops, I feel.
Well, he's been running around with the rebels, but he doesn't actually say that he's going to help them or not. But he wants to try to cure, like, Dorian's magic.
The king finds out Dorian has magic. And
it turns out that Thorsha has been working with the rebels and reporting on Dorian this whole time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, that's how the king finds out.
Yeah, that's right. Which I forgot. So by the end of the book... it's not funny because it's really sad. Poor sweet Dorian. But I have a list of where everybody is at the end of the book. So Adian ends up getting thrown into the dungeons. They're using him, which you find out, I think, more so in the next book, but I guess spoiler alert. They use him to kind of lure Aelin back to Otterlin.
Yeah.
Or out of hiding. They don't know that it's Celaena.
He also admits to his treason, though, because he's trying to save Kaol and Dorian from getting any of, like, of the backlash. He's like, I am the traitor.
And then it's like, no, I am the traitor. Like, okay, not everybody come forward at once. But he ends up in the dungeons. Kaol, he did escape the castle, so he got out, and ends up grabbing our sweet little baby Fleetfoot, who just disappears throughout the entire book. But we know at the end of Crown of Midnight, Aelin is like, take care, or Celaena is like, take care of Fleetfoot for me. So he gets Fleetfoot, basically flees the castle, and is now at the apartment with Ren, who is one of the leaders-ish of the rebels. Like the higher ups, I guess.
And he's actually like a lord of Terrasen.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So Kaol, I mean Dorian, I'm so sad.
Kaol fucking hightails it out of there.
Kaol's like, see ya. But poor Dorian, because his dad finds out, the king finds out he has magic, he puts a collar on him. It's like an onyx. Is it an onyx collar or is it like a...
Yeah, which is how like the Valg princes have been controlling their hosts.
So, and it helps. It like strengthens them when they have magic. So like but before they put the collar on him,
they make sure he's still Dorian when he sees this.
Yeah, he's still Dorian. He's still very much witnessing what is happening. So this is kind of all simultaneously prior to the collaring. It's very, like, Adian's coming forward saying he's, you know, a rebel, and Kaol's like, what the hell is everybody doing? And then Sorsha's like, yes, I've been sending letters back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And they behead Sorsha. And I hate that part of the book because it's like, and then like a suction or something, and then a thump, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
so
it's
like
one of the more graphic
scenes
and deaths in general.
Yeah, so you like Dorian is very in the moment, and he sees all this happens, and he like obviously is having a breakdown, which like understandable. This is a girl you thought you loved, and whilst he's mid panic attack, his dad puts the collar on him, and then it's like, I think at the end of his chapter it's like it all fades to black or something because he is being taken over by the Valg prince,
and he doesn't remember. He's like, I don't know, there's a girl, I don't know who she is.
It was like her head got chopped off. Who dat bitch? Like, that was apparently the love of your life, but okay. And then Manon and the 13, they, with their wyverns, they are on their way to Morath, where Duke Parrington, Caltaine, and somebody else is there.
Also, we don't know yet.
Oh, yeah. True. Spoiler alert, Caltaine's there. And then Aelin, we know Aelin is on her way back to Rifthold, and then Rowan he swore the blood oath to Aelin, and he's waiting in Mistward or Dornell or wherever Wendelin.
Yeah.
He's just chilling.
He's not with her.
Correct. They are not together, but Linz and I both finished this book a little while ago, so you finished the next one. I'm almost finished with the next one, so hopefully
we should have that shortly.
We say that.
Well, yeah.
It's just really, I mean, as you all know.
We're two busy working women.
Correct. I was going to say, we both work a lot. So trying to get our schedules to align to record these videos is very hard. But
we're together.
I was going to say, we are together. We went to go see Elle Kennedy last night and Victoria Wilder. We got our book signed. So we were like, you know what? Well, let's just record the video whilst we're together. So alas, we bring you us. And
ladies and gentlemen, us.
And I'm like, I gotta think of like a fun fact, because we haven't been doing this. Fun fact, I've never broken a bone. Knock on wood.
You better knock on wood. Do I have to have a fun fact?
Yeah, not anything like the last one.
Fun fact is I love Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, you do. You do.
But not bees.
No.
Any merch with Winnie the Pooh that has bees in it, I can't get. Don't know. Except that one, because that one's cute.
Yeah. But all right, this was our review wrap-up of
Heir of Fire.
So we will see you later.
See you later, alligators.
Bye. Bye.